It was famous for its tradition. Tradition. It was famous for its tradition. It was not famous for its tradition. It was not famous for its tradition. It wasn't famous for its tradition. Was it famous for its tradition? Be used for. SingSing.com is used for English. SingSing.com. SingSing.com is used for English. SingSing.com is not used for English. SingSing.com is not used for English. Is SingSing.com used for English? Is SingSing.com used for English? The speech was used for young people. Speech, the speech was used for young people. The speech was used for young people. The speech was not useful for young people. Was the speech used for young people? Be afraid of, afraid of, be afraid of, be afraid of. She is afraid of the dark. She is afraid of the dark. She's afraid of the dark. She's not afraid of the dark. She's not afraid of the dark. She's not afraid of the dark. Is she afraid of the dark? Is she afraid of the dark? She was afraid of the Chucky dolls. Chucky dolls. Chucky dolls. She was afraid of Chucky dolls. She was afraid of Chucky dolls. She was not afraid of Chucky dolls. She was not afraid of Chucky dolls. She wasn't afraid of Chucky dolls. Was she afraid of Chucky dolls? Be full of. Be full of. Be full of. The toilet. The toilet. The toilet. The toilet is full of poop. The toilet is full of poop. The toilet is full of poop. The toilet is not full of poop. Poop. The toilet is not full of poop. Is it full of poop? Is it toilet full of poop? His heart. His heart was full of greed. Greed. His heart full of greed. His heart wasn't full of greed. Was his heart full of greed? Sick, sick of, be sick of, be sick of, sick of, sick of. The college student is sick of ramen, ramen. The college student was sick of ramen, is sick of ramen. The college student is not sick of ramen. The college student is not sick of ramen. Is the college student sick of ramen? Brad Pitt, Brad Pitt, Brad Pitt was sick of his girlfriend. Brad Pitt was sick of his girlfriend. Brad Pitt was not his girlfriend. Was not sick of his girlfriend. Was Brad Pitt sick of his girlfriend? Was Brad Pitt his girlfriend? Sick of his girlfriend? Be proud of, be proud of, proud of, be proud of, be proud of. Hedgehog, hedgehog, the hedgehog is proud of his baby. The hedgehog is proud of his baby. The hedgehog is not proud of his baby. Is the hedgehog proud of his the baby? Koreans are Koreans are proud of were proud of Korean centimeters. Koreans are proud of Korean centimeters. Koreans were not proud of Korean centimeters. Koreans are not proud of Korean centimeters. Were Korean centimeters? Were Korean centimeters? Be different from different different be different from be different from Coke Coke is different from Pepsi. Coke is different from the Pepsi. Coke is different from the Pepsi. Coke is different from the Pepsi. Coke is not different from the Pepsi. Coke is not different from the Pepsi. Coke isn't different from Pepsi. Is Coke different from the Pepsi? Kim Hee-sung was different from Han Ye-seul. Kim Hee-sung was different from the Han Ye-seul. Kim Hee-sung was different from the Han Ye-seul. Kim Hee-sung was not different from the Han Ye-seul. Kim Hee-sung was not different from the Han Ye-seul. Was Kim Hee-sung different from Han Ye-seul? Absent from. Absent from. Be absent from. Be absent from. Many athletes. 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 Many athletes are absent from this class. Many athletes are many athletes are not absent from the class. Many athletes are not absent from the class. Are many athletes are absent from the class? Are many athletes absent from the class? The the boss absent from the meeting. The boss was absent from the meeting. The boss was absent from the meeting. The boss was not absent from the meeting. The boss was not absent from the meeting. The boss wasn't absent from the meeting. Was the boss absent from the meeting? Was the boss absent from the meeting? Curious about. Curious about. Curious about. Curious about. Babies are curious about politics. 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 Babies are curious about politics. Babies are not curious about politics. Are babies curious about politics? Foreigners, 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 foreigners were curious about Korean. Foreigners were curious about Korean. Koreans are not curious about Korean. Were foreigners curious about Korean? It was famous for a tradition. It wasn't famous for a tradition. Is it? Was it famous for a tradition? Sing.com is used for foreign English. Sing.com isn't used for foreign English. Is Sing.com used for foreign English? The speech used for young people. The speech wasn't used for young people. Was speech used for young people? She's afraid of the dark. She isn't afraid of the dark. Is she afraid of the dark? She was afraid of Chucky dolls. She wasn't afraid of Chucky dolls. Was she afraid of Chucky dolls? That toilet full of poop. The toilet isn't full of poop. Is toilet full of poop? His heart was full of greed. His heart wasn't full of greed. His heart is he heart his heart full of greed? That college student sick of ramen. The college student is not sick of ramen. Is the college student sick of ramen? Brad Pitt sick of his girlfriend. Brad Pitt was sick of his girlfriend. Brad Pitt wasn't sick of his girlfriend. Was Brad Pitt sick of his girlfriend? The hedgehog it, the hedgehog be proud of is proud of its babies. The hedgehog is not fried of its babies. Is the hedgehog proud of the baby? The Koreans were proud of Kim Jong-un Civil Matter. The Koreans were not proud of Kim Jong-un Civil Matter. Were Koreans proud of Kim Jong-un Civil Matters? Coke different from the Pepsi. Coke is not different from the Pepsi. Or Coke different from the Is Coke different from the Pepsi? Kim Il-sung was different from Han Ye-seul. Kim Il-sung wasn't different from the Han Ye-seul. Was Kim Il-sung different from the Han Ye-seul? Many athletes absent from the class. Many athletes are not absent from the class. Or many athletes absent from the class. The boss absent from the meeting. The boss is not absent from the meeting. Was the boss absent from the meeting? Babies are curious about politics. The babies is not curious about politics. Are babies curious about politics? Foreigners was curious about Korean. Foreigners were not curious about Korean. Were foreigners curious about Korean?